The Atlanta Falcons were one of the more well-rounded teams in 2017. They could play any type of game they wanted to on any given Sunday. And with the bulk of the offseason now done and as training camp looms, what can we expect from the Dirty Birds this upcoming season? Let's get this video started so we can find out. Let's take a look at some of the key storylines heading into the season as we go into our 4-minute offense. The Atlanta Falcons want to get more production out of their secondary this upcoming season. In 2017, they only accounted for 5 of the 8 total interceptions on this squad. It's not like they lack talent, as they're one of the more talented groups in the division. Now, they did collectively account for 48 pass breakups, but obviously turnovers are ideally what you want. And the hope is that second-round pick Isaiah Oliver can help them increase that number this upcoming year. Star wide receiver Julio Jones wants a new contract and definitely deserves one, but the 7-year vet and the team seem to have hit a roadblock in contract negotiations. It's interesting to see how this team is handling the situation with one of its star players. Now, Jones is coming off of a year where he led the team in receptions and nearly hit 1,500 yards receiving. While he may not have the gaudy touchdown numbers, he's putting the Falcons in position to score more so than anyone else on the team. It would be wise for Atlanta to find some common ground because you don't want to lose a guy who's this productive that is entering the prime of his career. Former first-round pick Vic Beasley is entering his 4th season in the NFL and is not necessarily a crossroads per se, but we're still trying to figure out what type of player Beasley is or what he's going to be moving forward. The talented pass rusher only got to the quarterback 5 times last year, down from the 15.5 back in 2016. Now, was that year the anomaly or his rookie season and last year where he had 9 sacks total is what he is? I believe this year we'll get a true answer, as the staff has already said that he'll be allowed to only rush the passer this year and won't have to worry about other responsibilities like dropping back into coverage. This is a smart move because it puts one of your best defenders in position to do what they do best, and all eyes will be on Beasley in camp to see if he's bound to return to his 2016 form this upcoming year. In the 6th round of the 2018 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons selected Foye Oluokun from Yale. Now, you don't normally see players from the Ivy League get drafted, but Oluokun definitely left an impression on the Falcons scouts and coaches. He's a hybrid player, having played both safety and linebacker in college, and could see himself playing in a similar role with the Atlanta Falcons. He tested well athletically and could give them exactly what they're looking for at the second level to pair with both Deion Jones and Devondre Campbell. This was one of the more underrated picks of the draft and could pay off handsomely for Atlanta. Taking a look at a reason for optimism for the Atlanta Falcons, and I have to start with their receiving core. The Falcons potentially have a group that's explosive and dangerous at all levels of the field. Julio Jones is obviously the star of this group, but Mohamed Sanu seems to be difficult to defend inside the red zone, and the potential of first-round draft pick Calvin Ridley is tremendous. He's going to excel as a rookie in my opinion. I'm still a big fan of what Justin Hardy brings to the table, and the tight end Austin Hooper should continue to come into his own as a player. One thing's for sure, this team isn't short on options for Matt Ryan. And speaking of Matt Ryan, he's been Matty consistency throughout the course of his entire career. Consistent players keep you in contention, and as long as Ryan is healthy, there'll always be a reason for optimism for the Atlanta Falcons. You can also be optimistic about this Falcon defensive line. Vic Beasley is still immensely talented, and both Brooks Reed and second-year player Tack McKinley provide an excellent bookend on the opposite side. On the interior, they have Grady Jarrett and rookie Deidre Sinnett from South Florida, along with the veteran Jack Crawford. This is a really strong group for Atlanta. And Deion Jones is one of the young stars of the league. Last season, Jones finished with 138 tackles and made plenty impactful plays for this defense. He's going to be a problem for a very long time in the NFL. A cause for concern would be Devonta Freeman's concussions. The 5th-year tailback missed some time last season because of it, and it's tied directly to his reckless running style. He's ridiculously talented as a runner that has great combination of explosiveness and agility, but you'd like to see him start to avoid defenders a little bit more this season and beyond. Now, the Falcons can't afford to have him miss time again, as he's an integral part to their offensive attack. Here are some quick takes about the Atlanta Falcons as they head into training camp. Look for Austin Hooper and Devondre Campbell to be breakout stars this year. Hooper is a good route runner and is coming off a really good season. I think we'll see him flirt with a 1,000-yard campaign this upcoming year. Campbell started to blossom last season in all aspects of defense and should become a household name by season's end. Tight end Eric Saubert and linebacker Foye Oluokun will be some camp surprises this year. Saubert is now more acclimated to the NFL game and should start to showcase that receiving skill that made him a matchup problem in college and really boasted his tight end unit as a whole. I also think that many will be surprised at how well Oluokun fits at weak side linebacker, outside linebacker in this Falcon defense, much more than Duke Riley. Expect him to turn some heads at training camp. Rookie impact players will be wide receiver Calvin Ridley and defensive tackle Deidrin Sinnett. Both were great picks that landed in ideal situations, in my opinion, which is conducive to both guys having successful rookie seasons. I still can't believe Ridley fell all the way to the Falcons, and Sinnett is going to have a big-time impact providing interior pressure on both ends of defense. And from a fantasy football perspective, you have no choice but to roll with Julio Jones. He's consistent from a catch and yardage standpoint, and I don't think that'll change anytime soon. The road to the Super Bowl for the Falcons goes as follows. The running game has to stay potent, in my opinion. This is what's very underrated about this Falcons offense, their run game. They do a fantastic job there and now have 3 backs they can roll with, as they added Ito Smith from Southern Miss in the draft. Both he and Tevin Coleman will provide a great complement to Devonta Freeman. And if the secondary can start to turn the ball over, that's more possessions for Matt Ryan and his offense to put points up on the board. And it's a surefire way to close out ball games. And finally, the special teams unit has to improve from a coverage and return perspective. Atlanta needs to become a threat in the return game as they are in the kicking game. If these things happen, Atlanta could find themselves playing at home for the Super Bowl. I have the Falcons finishing second in the NFC South. Good, solid team overall, one that should be in play for a wild card spot in the playoffs. The strides they make along both sides of the line of scrimmage, in my opinion, could ultimately determine how far this team will go in 2018. So that's it for our 2018 NFL season team preview. Be sure to follow me on all of our social media accounts. Also check out and subscribe on iTunes to Football Game Plan Podcast, and to find other NFL team previews for our 2018 NFL season kickoff, visit the YouTube channel at youtube.com/footballgameplan and click that subscribe button.